Hello and welcome, everyone. We are back. It is the Club Racing UK podcast. We're officially starting Season 3, Episode 1. There is a reason for that. We are going to tell you about those changes. So, you know the usual trio on your screen now. I'm your host, Robert Lewis. We're here with Stefan Marsh. We're here with Nick Holmes of Club Racing UK. You know those two as well. You see them all over social media at various club events. And of course, as usual, we've got some stunning guests on for you today. It's the 3 Club Racing UK ambassadors, but we're not going to sit here and make it one big advertising show. We're going to bring you the real racing that we've all been up to. That's what it's all about, Club Motorsport. So, without further ado, we have Amelia Vincent, Simon Court, and we have Dan Cogswell. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Hey.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are we all doing?
Pretty good.
I just want to be the first one to put it out there, boys. That intro was amazing.
Good job.
That was mega, boys.
Thanks.
Well done, guys.
Thank you.
Awesome.
One of a
Just
few
mic drop it
changes.
now. Just end it. No.
Yeah.
We're gone.
See you later. That's it. That's all we needed to do.
Making some changes to the Club Racing UK podcast. I'll tell you what else changes as well. We've got the comments flowing in as well. DSC Motor Racing, of course. Darren S. Cook joins the show this evening. Good evening, Darren.
Oi, oi.
Callum McDougall as well.
Oh, nice.
Richard
Evening, Callum.
Dogman. James Davis.
Oh, look at
Evening.
Patrick Steele. Now, who's that devil? We've had him on the show before as
Now
well.
then.
And Andrew Banthorpe of Graves Motorsport fame. Right. So, tonight's show, you will notice from here going forward, has got quite a few changes. Nick, what?
Sorry, your mic sounds a bit funny, dude.
What,
So-
Got a
mine?
bit of feedback.
Someone's got some echo.
I can hear someone echoing.
That's not me echoing. Right, let's get this done first.
Yeah. Teething issues.
Right, is everyone okay now? Oh, there's no
That's
feedback.
quite-
That's
That's
fantastic.
all right.
That's lovely.
Thanks,
Well, I can
guys.
tell you now,
Sorry.
guys, the comments have lit up again, so let's go back. Sam Pearce joins us this evening. Good evening, Sam. All Square Rap and Ride joins us. Paul
Oh,
Harvey
look
joins
at you
us.
showing off with our new comment area.
I know.
How cool is that?
But I'll tell you what, you know the podcasters make it when Mum joins in this evening. Evening, Mum. Hope you're having a
Evening, Mum.
Now, we've got a comment here just saying people from a Facebook user. Now, I will say as well, if you are watching us on the Club Racing UK paddock page, on our link for the video, there should be a link to StreamYard. You've got to allow some permissions. If not, head on over to the Club Racing UK page and comment on there. It will bring up your profile and we'll be able to show up your lovely face, like Jonathan Bevan, who joins us this evening. Good evening, Jonathan.
Evening.
Whee.
Okay, so the first thing to announce to everyone, this is a bit of a change for the Club Racing UK podcast in the fact that it's not going to be done with My Supercar Productions anymore. Unfortunately, it seems they're a victim of their own fantastic, superb success in both the motor racing and the golfing world. So the first things first, we've got to give Ian Waterhouse, Leon Vanswil and Elaine Vanswil a massive thank you from all of us at Club Racing UK. Just over a year ago, we started this podcast. It was thanks to those guys it was possible. It all started out as an idea from myself. I did an interview with Ian and he said, you know what, we'll help you do it. And they did it for us for free. You can't say any more than that. So a massive, massive thank you. Shout out to Ian and My Supercar. You will see them about this season while they're doing their fantastic live streaming, including this Sunday at the MG Metro Cup, where myself and Stefan will be as well, but we'll tell you about that later. Now, so that's that bit done. So we're doing our own production. Everything's a bit pink. We've brought in some changes.
It's a bit pink and bright and flamboyant.
Yeah, loud and proud.
Yeah.
Well, you say that about the pink. The Jordan Honeybone loves it.
He loves the pink.
Yes, Jordan.
He loves the pink. Well done, Jordan. We'll, of course, see you this weekend. We're racing at Castle Combe. James Davis, humble beginnings, indeed. Liam Browning joins us as well. Good evening, Liam.
Good evening.
Okay.
And we should just say, for all our podcast listeners and anyone who's listening after show, for people that can't see the video stream, your name's getting shown up. Yeah. If you want to see your name on a show, the show, then you need to watch it live. So we do apologise, podcast listeners, but yeah, unlucky.
Fantastic. Well, we're not doing the one thing I will say today as well. It has been 4 weeks since we did a last podcast, so I couldn't round up all the racing. Otherwise, we would be here until Saturday night.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say, the club racing that has been going on, and I hope you guys agree with me, has been absolutely superb.
Unbelievable. Unbloody believable. From everyone. I don't think there's been a dull race out there, has there?
Well, there has been one, actually. It's coming up in the news roundup. We'll cover that later.
Okay.
Well, there is. Funnily enough, it's from a link that you sent me, Nicholas, and I did a bit of deep diving. But the comments are coming in thick and fast. Jordan Honeybone, you boys confident? Done any laps around there? He hadn't until last week. This is, of course, Castle Combe.
We have gone round in the Mini. Unfortunately, 7 laps into our track day, our mechanic was there with his Honda S2000, and his engine went. So his car had to go on our trailer, which meant we then had to drive the Mini home. So we had to go careful from then to make sure we didn't break anything. So we didn't really get to push it. So no.
Wow. Newsflash, Mini lasted the track day.
Oh, Nick, that's and I have.
How many laps are you going to do this weekend?
Hopefully we'll just get to do a lap. That would be nice.
Let's be honest. Let's just hope you guys have had the teething issues out of the way. We'll come across that, of course, in the roundup as well. But Jordan, myself, I've done some laps, funnily enough, in Nick's race car. Bit of 2CV stuff there before. Of course, we were there last week at Castle Combe as well to watch some of the racing. Quite like the circuit. Looking forward to it as well.
Love it.
Patrick Seal, just to make sure this new format works, has Rob switched from Sky Broadband? Moved to BT last year, mate. It's made a hell of a difference. Jason Stone joins us this evening as well. Mum's back again. She wants to wish me an early happy birthday for Monday. Thank you, Mother.
Oh, that's for Monday, Rob.
I know. DSC can't share the post, guys.
Click the 3 dots at the top, copy the link, share it.
Cool.
And that goes for everybody listening. Share.
Sam Pierce says more laps than Nick.
Well, not really. I've done more laps than them.
Yeah.
There's a reason we're beating them in the championship.
Paul Harvey, can you do an analysis of Nick's stint in the wet at Focus at Silverstone, please? Well, funnily enough, the alignment was actually straight. We checked the alignment last night.
That's the most fun I've had in a race car ever.
Well, it was. I mean, we'll cover that in a second. We have got a roundup of Silverstone. We'd actually sort of put a couple of pictures in there, but I am currently uploading the video for everyone to see because certainly the first lap or so of Nicholas in the car
is a good watch.
It's quite a good watch.
Right, hold on.
dented my car.
I did not dent your
what
car.
else
That
did you
bloody
expect
Clio
from?
did. That bloody Clio did.
Right, Darren S. Cook, legend. Well, of course, that footage was actually courtesy of Scruffy Pair Pictures. It was here for the weekend. Well, we've already started to talk about some of the racing roundup. So I think, Steph, it's time for the news.
A little bit of wee in the end of my knob.
That never gets old.
Yes, it's back. It's back.
It never gets old. Now, if I haven't covered your race meeting this week, I do apologise. There was a lot of racing on, and like I said, we will be here until next Saturday night if we did. However, I will switch attention. Go on, Nick.
I just want to say, actually, before you say it, for future shows where there's been a ton of racing, we're going to need you, the listeners and the viewers, help. Obviously, give us some info, let us know about your race weekends, etc. And we're going to have to pick and choose because there's just been so much racing going on that not only will you lot all get bored to tears listening to every single race roundup, we're just going to have to highlight some of the goods and the bads and find a happy medium.
Yeah.
So
now, after looking at that footage, we have had some comments. The first of all, though, I think this needs to be addressed. Maxine Nichols, is Steph wearing fake tan?
No.
no, it's real tan. This is gypsy tan.
Man boy. No.
Man boy.
I've done my best to get in the sun. Get the tan game on the go. The sleeve's not so good though. I mean, that's not good, is it?
Oh, he looks like a drumstick. He looks like a drumstick.
Shocking. But there we go.
Jordan Honeybone ignoring the Park Clio on the grid. It's unfortunate Jordan stalled on the grid, but the good thing is he made it out. Got a good result, I think, in the end, didn't you, Jordan? Fingers crossed. I'm sure you'll be on for a good result again this weekend. Nick?
No, don't worry. We'll get to it when we do the racing roundup.
Sorry, mate. We've got so many comments coming in. This is fantastic. Chud Codrington.
This is brilliant. This is what we wanted.
The door is about to fly off. No, it's a fiberglass door. There's a little bit of problem with them flexing at the top. That is being addressed in the next couple of weeks.
Duct tape.
Exactly. Took until after the first corner to put the wipers on. Pure focus. ST170 to be precise. Cascara Productions. Is this Nick using his Vectra driving experience again into cops? It bloody well is.
Damn straight.
Patrick Seal. Matt Clary, are we not on YouTube? Not this week. Not this week. We are going to be uploading this to YouTube after the podcast is out. Okay. James thought it was a love tap. Maxine, any of you at Brands Hatch on Friday?
Yep. Simon is.
What are you doing at Brands?
Dan is.
Oh yeah. I'll be rocking up and just unloading.
Yeah. I might head down tomorrow night.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Two of our ambassadors will be at Brands this weekend.
Exactly. Well, tell you what, we'll come to you guys. You can tell us all about your wonderful plans.
Make sure you go see Maxine.
Yes. Matt Clary, I've waited 3 feckin' weeks for this, and at 8 p.m. my wireless completely... I told you, Matt, don't use Sky. Adam Chamberlain is out in the Turbo Tin Tops this weekend. Adam, fantastic. Hopefully you get yourself a good result. Neil Ashcroft joins us as well. And
David.
Nick, where did you get those lovely cutout race circuits from?
Funny that.
Was it a shop?
It was a shop, yeah, an online shop of some kind. I don't know. My wife bought them as a present.
Okay, well then
let's move on before we make it more awkward.
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Google them. I think it's the best idea.
There you go.
Yeah, Google them. I should say X, Y.
Okay. We will move on from that absolutely sharply now.
Just want to say, look at them reactions in the top corner. Let's keep them coming in. That's fantastic.
I know. They're going absolutely nuts for the Club Racing UK podcast. We are back. We're running our own thing, and we're very, very pink. Now, back to the roundup. And the lads went to Cadwell Park in the KA, and it didn't go particularly well. Steph, Nick, how did it go?
Who started
No
it?
comment. I wanted to pack up and go home.
Okay, well, to be fair, we've got some pictures of it out on circuit. I mean, you know,
made out.
It looks very racy there, but by the looks of it, you know, Stefan's concentrating hard at the wheel there.
That's the second bumper on it, though.
Yeah, that is the second.
There's the first one.
That's the
There's
qualifying
the first bumper.
That's the qualifying spec car right there, and that's it looking very nice going up the mountain.
Probably about 336 laps down or whatever we ended up at.
Yeah, unfortunately, it would appear that after Cadwell, Matt would no longer be able to produce children, thanks to a bit of a moment.
Yeah, a bit of a it's qualifying. Obviously, we hadn't done no testing in there in the wet. That morning, it wasn't actually raining, but the track was still damp from the day before, and it had been raining solidly all week. So obviously, the grass was pretty wet. Matt went out. I think there was already an incident, so it was already been a red flag. So he then ended up at the front of the pack, and then he went out qualifying alongside Smith. If we all know Ad Smith, he's pretty quick and pretty handy in the KA. So I think there was a little bit of competition going on, shall we say, between them two.
What,
but
in qualifying?
No.
We don't race in qualifying.
Matt was pushing hard. He got a wheel in the grass. Had a bit of a swap. I got a wheel in the other grass, and then end up in the barrier. Let's have a little look at the video, shall we?
Cool, even my nuts felt that.
So it was a bit of a painful one. Obviously, that happened quite early in qualifying, and due to the conditions, there was a lot of red flags. So I think qualifying was actually 2.5 hours long instead of an hour. So we managed to get the car back. We managed to get the car back. We managed to get it repaired. Had to pull the crash bar out, change the bumper, fix the bumper, pull the engine forward, change the radiator. And I went out and managed to get a few laps in before the end of qualifying. So I managed to get my qualifying laps in and get the car shakedown as such straight after. But there were still a few issues because it was making some horrific noises all over the place. But in the end, we just decided that's the noises it now makes. So let's just go for it. And then
is that the bit where you could have wished for a stereo just to turn it up? Yeah. You know, if you have in the early days when you had your first car and it had 101 issues, you just the cure to any mechanical issue, turn the stereo up.
Turn the stereo up.
What do you mean the early days?
That's what I do in a van, Rob. That's why I'm like full volume in a van all the time.
Although to be fair, I mean, if we look back at this picture, for everything that you've listed there, Steph, and everything you guys had to do, that is a bloody good effort. It still looks quite tidy.
Yeah, well, that was in the race. So we went out.
What was on the inside that counts.
We went out in the race, and we just drift stitched the front bumper back together originally. And then I think it's the second lap, Matt had some contact with someone, ripped the bumper straight off, unfortunately, because cable ties aren't that strong, turns out. So then it was red flags because the car rolled. So we brought it in the pits. We ripped the bumper off, sent it straight back out. Scrutiny gave us a thumbs up. And then when he was sat down on the grid for the red flag for 20 minutes, however long it was, they then decided it wasn't good enough. So we then had to go and find a bumper because we didn't have a spare one. Which Moore's Motors, Nick Jackson Racing, Octane Junkies boys managed to give us their spare one. So we got them in and we fitted that new bumper to that. And then shit went downhill from there pretty much. It continued. Multiple
continued downhill, you mean?
Yeah, multiple brake season on. What else did we have? We had power steering pipe failure.
Brake on 3 times. Power steering pipe failed.
Loads of other crap. So we finished 36th, I think, 39 laps off the lead, which is our worst performance apart from a DNF.
Worst ever.
But you know, we have these things. But we have done a full vlog of the whole thing, which includes the run up to it of us staying in a Chinese hotel restaurant. So it's a good laugh. It's a good watch. And it shows exactly what a Club Racing UK weekend's all about. But I'll show a little trailer, a little teaser for you now.
Hello!
Love
There you
it.
go.
So the full
Yeah.
the full vlog, hopefully Monday night, depending on how well my internet uploads the whole thing.
I should just point out, right, as much as we had an absolute shocker of a weekend, firstly, we were well overdue a shocker of a weekend because we've actually been top 5-ish for a long time now.
Our
And
third
secondly,
season, and we've never had a contact like that with the barrier. So I think we've done pretty well.
Yeah.
Or any big.
we've done well.
We've done some door bashing, obviously.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, so
sorry, Nick.
Yeah, for me, secondly as well, we actually got off pretty scot-free compared to some of the other guys. Like the Team KAR boys totaled their car, completely rolled it.
That was that car was beautiful.
yeah,
it was beautiful. So there was a lot of incidents that weekend. So we actually got off pretty scot-free that we've actually got a car that's still drivable.
Yeah, I mean, there were some comments that have come in about the gooseneck, but I kept this comment up from James Davis. All good drivers have their moments, just means you're trying.
Definitely.
And Liam Browning said as well, the gooseneck is going to create some sore testicles there.
You don't know you're on the limit. Don't know you're on the limit till you find the limit, eh?
No worries. Matt Clary, he's loving this new look. We are as well. It's lovely and pink. Quite similar to the Oddballs Foundation. So if you are looking to get yourself some new underwear or undergarments, it all goes to charity. So get yourself onto the Oddballs website there as well. Justin Kemp. Emilio, you've got some admirers.
I would show you mine, but I'd get banned.
Uh-oh.
Hello, Big Brother.
Big Brother's on, and Nick's on about getting his balls out.
Exactly. Exactly. Little Miss Motorsport says hello to everyone. Sorry, Nick, the comments are flooding in, mate. It's unreal. It's unreal.
Crack on, I'm loving it.
It's like we've come back after a bit of a hiatus. Chuck Codrington, that is the hashtag that I think everyone racing in the country lives by, and Postman. And Postman as well, not forgetting the Royal Mail people out there. Little Miss Motorsport. Hi, Amelia Vincent. That's nice there, isn't it? Taylor Norton as well. He loved the gooseneck. It's a proper corner. It certainly is. It certainly is.
Love it.
And the latest one from Adam Wemmer, of course, commentary extraordinaire. We are looking.
Yes, Adam.
We are looking to get this man onto the podcast at some point. He does say you boys gave me plenty to talk about at Cadwell.
We did our best.
And Sam
we had
Pearce,
nothing else to do.
And Sam Pearce says as well, I'm just happy you've put the podcast on the correct week. I see it, Sam. Sam works early's one week and late's the other. So
yes.
When we were due to come back, last week, he swore at me and said,
the problem is we're going every 3 weeks, Rob, so that'll end up on us early.
I know. Well, that's the other big announcement that I've kind of missed. Instead of every 2 weeks now, purely because of workload, the fact that we're prepping our own race cars, we've got so much to do. It's going to be every 3 weeks now instead of every 2 weeks. Hope you guys understand. If you don't care. Exactly. Right, moving on to the week before the KA boys at Cadwell.
Wait. We should just point out, if you do want a show every 2 weeks, you could sponsor it. And then instead of having to go to work, we can concentrate on the content.
On the podcast, yeah.
That would be that would be a lot of sponsorship money to cover our salaries.
I only get paid a pack of Maryland cookies and some Haribo. Job done.
Only my evening salary.
Oh, only your evening salary. Oh, very good. Yes, he's so posh. He has an evening salary as well, don't you know? Anyway, so we popped on down to Silverstone.
He doesn't even have a number on his house. He doesn't even have a number on his house. That's how posh Steph is.
That's right.
I didn't decide that, did I?
Well, actually, right.
If I did, I would have put number 1.
In the comments, everyone, are you posh? If you don't have a number on your house, you have a name. That makes you posh, doesn't it? in the comments right now. Go for it.
Do it. Okay, so if you have a name on your house instead of a number, that automatically makes you posh, yeah?
Does it make you posh, yes or no?
I can't do because I've got a name.
The votes are coming in. Sam Pearce says yes. Patrick Seal says yes.
There you go.
Chris Pratt says yes. They're coming in thick and fast, guys. Just quickly, Little Miss Motorsport. When's your next races, guys? This Saturday, we're racing at Castle Combe in the TDC Championship. And speaking of TDC, we raced at Silverstone. Steph, how did the Mini go?
Short. So Matt went out in qualifying. Bear in mind, neither of us have ever driven Silverstone before. We had a test day booked or track day booked. COVID fucked that right up, obviously. So we never got that out. And then when it was released, they were all booked up. So we never got to test, never got to drive around it whatsoever. So we turned up, pissing down with rain. Matt goes out for the first 10 minutes of qualifying because we had 20, 25 minutes. Doing a storming job, to be fair, was on pace, got up to pace really quick. And then just as we pulled him into the pits, he went past the start-finish straight, done his fastest lap. And then the supercharger belt fell off. The tensioner smashed into the crank pulley, destroyed that, and then he just parked it on the grass. It then got recovered back. Obviously, we missed qualifying, so I never got to do my qualifying session. We did our best to repair. Again, big shout to Moore's Motors, Nick Jackson Racing. They saved our ass once again and gave us a spare supercharger belt that they had. Because we're foolish and didn't take one. We repaired the crank pulley as best we could, put it on. I went out in, I'm very sorry, I don't know what round I went out in, but someone else was qualifying to try and get my laps in. On the second lap, I tried to push it just a little bit more to see how it was going. And the supercharger belt fell off. And I parked on the same bit of grass Matt parked on. Got recovered back to the pits, and we didn't have the parts to fix it, so we called it there. So, and then we just watched you guys. So, not very well.
Okay, right. We'll get rid of the despair and misery. It was quite good in the first part of quali, watching you and Nick duel on TSL. That was very good. So it was good watching the times. You two were absolutely cutting it fine. It was fantastic. Of course, we were out in the focus as well. We had quite a good weekend, didn't we, Nick?
A bloody good weekend. That's the best race weekend of my life, that was.
So, yeah, that, of course, is the official podcast car this year. And, well, carrying on. You will notice there it is a bit rainbow-coloured on the back. It isn't to celebrate Pride Month. My gearbox decided to drain itself during the race, probably about litre and a half going onto the track. But we finished.
Ford.
It's a Ford. It's expected to do that. It just sweats horsepower. It's as simple as that. So we finished about 22nd overall, avoided the carnage. I learnt a lot in the car. Nick went out, did an absolute storming first stint, getting very, very close racing with some people.
What did we qualify? P20, I think. P20 out of 40-something odd cars, 38 cars.
Yeah.
And I made up 8 places in 2 corners. I was so happy. It was just like the best I've driven. That bit you saw earlier on, the video earlier on, I was 8 places in 2 corners. I was buzzing. And a cracking race with 924 Porsche. 944. Don't know my Porsche is that well. 944 Porsche. Had a cracking race with him all race. It was slippery, wet, amazing fun. To be honest, I didn't want to pit and let you in the car, to be honest.
You didn't want to pit. You didn't want to pit and let me race my own car.
No, absolutely not.
Well, to be fair, my sister who does the pit wall, she was saying, she was like, I don't think Nick's seen it the first time, and it was like more or less it got to a point she was ready to throw the pit board onto the windscreen.
No. I was having the time of my life in that car. I absolutely bloody loved it.
Okay.
So much fun.
Right, we've covered the racing roundup, so we had quite a good round. We're back in action again at Castle Combe. But the more pressing topic this evening, it would seem, is does having a house name instead of a number make you posh? Because I wasn't laughing at your misfortunes in the Mini. The comments coming in, and I've got to try and stabilise myself here. They are absolute gold, okay? Matt Cleary, posh. Adam Chamberlain, 100% yes. James Davis, oh yes. Chuck Codrington, sorry it does. Sam Pearce, does Steph drive a kilometre from his electric gates to his front door?
I wish.
Little Miss Motorsport, yes, very posh. Daniel Court, Simon has both, I think.
Hey,
My brother.
someone posher than me.
Love it.
Comment
Lord
on
of the
the
Virtual high five.
the new Forest from Chris Pratt. Jonathan Bevan, probably the previous owner, was posh, and then Sam Pearce came in with this belter, Marsh Manor.
I might rename it to that actually.
Patrick, although here in Sheffield, if the house numbers go too high, we struggle, so names are easier numbered past 10. And then Neil Ashcroft has come in with this absolute belter. It's not posh if it says HMP in front of the name.
Oh, brilliant.
Andrew Banthorpe looks at the postie point of view and says it makes you to find.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's about it on the Gates topics. But back to the comments for their show on the Mini. Go on, Nick.
I think we found the title for tonight's podcast.
Marsh Manor.
Yeah.
Friend used to do a belt on his Mini every race, pulley alignment, I think.
Yeah, we've done a bit of research and chats on people now, and it turns out nearly everyone that runs Supercharged R53, they change their belt either every race or every other race. So we'll be doing that. Plus, we've put all new tensioner, all new crank pulley, and realigned everything. So hopefully, we'll be golden. And we've got a spare belt. And we've got a tensioner stop, so the tensioner can't hit the crank again. So
fantastic. AJ Owen, Ford Racers Rule Man, Ford's rust prevention device. It certainly helped prevent the rust underneath the car and the back of the car. It was quite a lot to clean off, I'm not going to lie. James Davis, I end up shaking the pit board up and down when I want the driver in. It helps. Jason Stone, I'm not sure what that's in referring to. Probably the posh gate.
Probably.
Yeah.
The posh what?
Posh house.
Yeah.
Posh boy, posh, whatever you want.
Chuck Corrington, even more posh if he has his own street to go with the house. Do you have a road named after you, Stefan Marsh?
Unfortunately not. No.
Right. Okay, moving on from the comments then and back to the news roundup. Now, Motorsport UK has some good news in the valleys of Wales. They moved to the level 1 COVID response, and this allows motorsport to continue in the mainstream in Wales, mainly affecting Pembrey and Anglesey. Yes! Good. So, yeah, I know a lot of the guys were a bit antsy about going out to Anglesey. There's a lot of race meetings. Are any of you ambassadors due to go out to there this year?
Not this year. No.
We were meant to. We were meant to go to Anglesey next week. I booked a whole holiday around it, and it was postponed and then cancelled.
Oh, bloody hell!
I'm still on holiday.
Still
going on holiday though.
Good man.
Yeah.
Why not?
Wales is a lovely place.
It is where my family are from. Now, this is the bit of the heartwarming story. Of course, we dedicated a previous show to Mick Nichols, and Maxine always tunes into the show. Well, she returns to the MR2s at Donington Park and paid tribute to her dad. Started at the back of the grid, got some great results, showed some great pace. And I'll tell you what, that took some guts to go out there and do that, because I probably couldn't. So, big love to you, Maxine. Big respect.
Massive high five. Massive love to you, Maxine.
So there we go. Volunteers week this week. So shout out to all the marshals and officials with the MSA producing this number. So they wanted to thank every single person who gives up their time to make motorsport happen, which myself and Steph are actually doing this Sunday. Should we announce it now, Stefan?
You go for it, Rob.
So this Sunday, after we race on the Saturday, and then Saturday night, we're dumping all our stuff off. We're going all the way up to Mallory Park, and on the Sunday, we get to drive the safety car.
Hey!
We're going to fuck this right up.
Right.
Especially I'm on the comms. I just go, Rob, go. In the middle of a race, and you just fire out the pits. Like, oh.
Exactly. Do you know what the more terrifying thing is? Okay, so you've got the modified Fords, you've got the super saloons, you've got the Intermark. They're all fire-breathing, flame-spitting monsters, and we've got to control their rolling start.
What are you driving? What have you boys got to drive?
I hope this isn't the case.
No,
I really hope this isn't the case.
Oh, please tell me it's a Fiat Panda.
Jesus Christ. It would
Can you
literally-
imagine Rob in a Fiat Panda? It'd be like sitting in a little Tykes car.
Just my face.
And you can't reply on the radio. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Rob, get into the pits. You need full power for the pits. I am full power. Come on. Can you imagine that? But of course, everyone's coming in with the comments. Ashley Shells, well, it's a Jag estate. Steph, we could do some post office robberies.
Yeah. Just go around going, it's me in the Jag.
In the Jag. Chris Pearson in my Focus with the massive splitter. They couldn't handle that splitter. That's a sunstrip for the safety car. We're going to fuck this right up. Chris Pearson joins us this evening. Even folks, he was on late. And another live chat with Max Coates and Paul O'Neill. Well,
who else is making it big time?
Who's more important?
I think, to be honest, it's Max. I'll tell you, I'm looking forward to. I am looking forward to Max Coates.
I think we should try and get Paul O'Neill on it.
I think we should. We need to get Max Coates on here as well. I'm looking forward to him in the Graves Motorsport Run JCWs this year. He will be the one to go for the championship, I think. Yeah. Andrew Banthorpe, a smart 4-4. Really? Do you really think I would get him even fit in one of those? I'd get in and turn it over. Matt Cleary, just don't lose it. You'll never live it down. Thanks, mate. All square wrap and ride as well. Don't bin it. Thanks, mate. Liam Browning, thought BRSCC has the XJ. They do. I think it's a CMMC meeting.
What do you think? You should bloody know what meeting you're looking after, you Dinlow.
Well, everything says CMMC. Jesus. Right. Off the comments because I'm getting bullied a bit. Now back to some racing.
Look at Mr. I Control podcast now.
Yeah. That's it.
We're only going to talk about what suits me.
Yeah, all right. It's just me and David Dickinson over here controlling the podcast. So yeah, watch your mouth. Anyway, Donington, Pre-03, AJ Owen, Gary Preble. This was the dice of the meeting.
What?
Check this out. Steph, play the clip.
Exhibition straight. He's right on the tail of AJ Owen. Now he's really upping his game here, Gary Preble. Here we go. He's going to try and slipstream him. But again, Owen takes the inside line. Preble cuts back across. He tries to double bluff AJ Owen. That's like Nelson Piquet and Nigel Mansell at Silverstone in 87. And Preble's done it into the chicane. Oh, brilliant from Gary Preble. The double bluff there. I was just trying to say there, Piquet and Mansell, Silverstone 87 in the two Williamses. Nigel Mansell managed to do that into Stowe Corner, and the crowd invaded the track in response at the end of the race.
Now we've got the still from this. Look at that!
That's quite
yeah, that is incredible.
Wow.
Well, you say that. This was another overtake a couple of laps later, wasn't it?
That one.
That's not. Yeah, because look, that's a different one.
Yeah.
That's a different one.
Were at it. These two were at it for ages. and I can report, AJ, not once did those guys touch.
No.
Which is insane. It was like a proper blockbuster movie.
And with Gary Preble winning the race that he did, he actually did something rather unique with his brother, which we will tell you about later. But myself and Nick kind of realised it while we were sat at Castle Combe.
Yeah.
Now, the highlight of that racing as well was just, I mean, you guys know me. I love V8 supercars. Look at that grid. Jesus Christ, I've just had an orgasm. I mean, that lot sat in the paddock.
That's awesome.
No one. No one needs that in their life, Rob.
Everyone needs that in their life.
No, you've just ruined a beautiful moment there.
I should just see the viewer numbers dropping because Rob's having an orgasm.
You look at the picture. I'll just sit here and slowly sit in the wet patch. But Andy Wilson won a great race one. It was a tight dice with him and Rick Wood in race two. Unfortunately, there was a bit of contact as well, which was a bit disputed by Andy. I don't want to get involved with the contact, but it was the brilliant racing. Right, back to some comments. I'm no longer getting picked on. AJ Owen. I think he knew he was being put onto the podcast. Closest and hardest race he's ever done.
Yeah, big respect, man.
Boys, I think if anything, you guys both of you need a round of applause for that one, because if for anyone watching, if you haven't seen it, go and watch that bloody video. Yeah. Honestly.
Exactly.
Incredible, guys. Absolutely incredible race.
Nick, please take note from Sam Pearce here, guys. Everyone needs a V8. Simple.
If I could afford one, I would have a V8 touring car, without a doubt. But
I mean, it started off when Andy Robinson brought the old Paul Wheel Falcon over, but that Monaro as well. It's an that has got pedigree. It's won the Bathurst 24 Hours with Gary Rogers.
It's the Holden for me.
Yeah,
the Monaro is as well, but
it is good. AJ Owen says the onboard is good. We'll tell you what, AJ, if I give you my email address, can you send some snippets through to us and we will play it on the next podcast? It will be that good.
I think we have to dedicate an entire show to the AJ Rebel show.
Get him on, just do a little show with him.
Well, that is the plan. That is the plan. Eventually, we do want to get across all the racing clubs. The Classic Touring Car Racing Club is on our list. Do not worry about it.
Yeah, it is.
Right. We have to move on with the news. We've got so much content, guys. We're 45 minutes into the podcast. We haven't even got out of the news yet. This is amazing. Thank you to everyone for commenting in. It's astounding. So the BRSCC have announced that they are honoured and thrilled to proudly announce they're working together with Mission Motorsport to host and deliver this year's Race of Remembrance event at Anglesey on November 12th to the 14th. That's certainly an event I think a lot tried.
What a race! That is one I would. That's 100% on my radar one day.
100%. 100%.
Yeah,
we do that event.
We need to put a team together for that, I think.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Very poignant as well, because they do stop the race and then hold a service halfway through, don't they? So.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's really good. A lot of respect for the services.
A lot of respect. Right now. We have an interesting video coming up from the CSCC. A lot of the action happened at Donington in the past few weeks. Jeff Windsor, who I used to race with the 05s, who's racing in the CSCC tin tops now, he probably had the luckiest save you could have. Have you got the clip, Stefan?
Yeah. His arse must be like
that. I can imagine.
I'm just going to say it now. We are going to do a 2021 Club Racing UK Save of the Year award.
Oh, wow.
I think that's just won it.
I think if I'm honest, guys, you're going to have to really pull out the bag to beat that one. So
that's
I'm
definitely
certainly
one well
not
up there.
condoning that. I'm not condoning that you try any better. Okay. Yeah. Please, we don't want any ridiculous driving, but if you want to have a go, give it a go.
Exactly.
Right. Save of the year.
Just to round off a bit of our news and roundup as well. Of course, the C1s descended on Silverstone for the annual 24-hour race. We've actually got a photo of the rather small grid. There we go, 50, 60 cars.
Bloody hell.
I say that tongue-in-cheek at the moment. And I actually want to give a big shout-out to Robin Welch and Tom that run the C1 Racing Club. So obviously we reported recently they've taken over. They have been absolutely interactive with all... And this is just someone looking from a club racing fan point of view, okay? So they had the 24-hour race. Hybrid Tune won it, and they took the spoils for much of that year's race. They were absolute miles ahead, and it was only second splitting them from Hybrid Tune and Full Circle Racing. There was a bit of talk in the paddock about cambered shaved tyres, whatever that is, that Hybrid Tune were running. But within days, the C1 Racing Club pulled out a statement and went, right, we went to see them. This is what they told us. We're offering this out to everyone else. It doesn't break the rules. But straight away, they've got something that's an advantage. They've done something about it and asked the right questions. And since then as well, we haven't got the videos for you. They have re-released them. But the C1 Racing Club then spent their own time making videos answering the queries of the racers that actually raced in that 24-hour race. There were lots of engines going bang. They addressed that issue with a number of answers and offered their help as well. I mean, to me, that's a very well-run club and people that want to look after their members.
Yeah, 100%. There's no comeback from that, is there? You've gone out of your way to answer everybody's gripes and questions in a very professional manner, and I think more people should learn from that.
Yeah, exactly. But the 24 hours seemed to go very well. There was quite a lot of engine drama as well. It was quite hot. But again
exactly. It was a muggy. It's 24 hours in a car that's less than 1 litre. It's like, what are they, 995 cc, whatever they are?
Yeah, less than a milk carton.
And as we know with the Enduro KAs, those things are on song for 98% of the time. So things are going to go bang.
Mm.
It just that's going to happen. Sorry if it is.
So we talked about all the racing going on. So it looks different on the script. Amelia, we're going to intertwine this with your segment as well, because you got a visit from myself and Nick, didn't you? We came down to Coombe to watch the racing on the bank holiday Monday.
Whoa! Are we going into the ambassador bit now?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
We're going to mix it up. So
hold on, you missed the 911 challenge part.
Oh, right. Okay. This is a bit of a gripe. Now, I will say, and I will reiterate that I wanted to get all the positive stuff out of the way. I like to have a positive podcast. But I just want to reiterate, if you launch a series and you attract 7 cars for a 1-hour race, what a waste of track time. If it was any other series, you would probably amalgamate it with someone else, because it was the 911 challenge. I mean, come on. Really? The cost of racing's gone up as it is. 7 cars.
How much was that?
How they were allowed to do that is beyond.
And this isn't just me griping. We've had messages from various people showing the results, showing the photos, and saying, how can this happen in club racing? The costs are going up as it is. How can this be allowed to happen? So we're going to
good news, everybody. This is the great thing about this show, is we can address these things. And as we're our own entity now, we'll just have to take some of it on the chin if people don't like what we're saying. So, yeah. 7 cars for an hour race. Come on, guys.
It's not a good look, is it? If we'll put it this way, if it was our 6 cars and one other car in a race, you will bet your ass they will probably be amalgamated onto another grid.
Tell you to sod off. They wouldn't run it.
They probably wouldn't nowadays, with organisations appearing to get a lot tougher. But anyway, that's the moaning out of the way.
Yeah.
So we descended upon glorious Coombe, and I say that I haven't been to Coombe for a couple of years, but Castle Coombe is the prettiest racetrack in the country. I'll say it. There it is. That's it. 100%.
I don't know. Alton Park's pretty.
Yeah. It's got the nice house, but but to walk around the circuit, I mean, okay, we had alcohol on us. To walk around the circuit, the TCRs, I could probably lick and touch them.
Whoa. I was being a responsible parent that weekend. I didn't have that much alcohol on me.
Oh, yeah, I know that, and we had to drive. So we went out to glorious Coombe. Now, a big shout out as well to Chris Pearson, because he sent me out once again. He was out doing the photos, and he has sent us some lovely photos of the day.
Yes.
So we've got the hot hatch at Coombe. That was a terrific race. There's someone recognised in that photo as well, isn't there, Amelia?
Yep, I photobombed that lovely photo.
So
What do you mean you photobombed it? You're leading.
Exactly. That was the hot hatch pack coming out of Quarry and into the S's there. That was
What a race that was.
That was
What
a
a race that
barnstormer of a race with Chris Southcott taking the spoils. It did get a bit crunchy in qualifying there with a photo of a bit of
crunchy in the race as well when the leaders took each other out.
Yes.
Ooh.
So they had a bit of a tangle going into Quarry, and I could see the body language of the driver of the 205 coming back out of Quarry. Thinking he was a bit
not
pissed off.
not happy bunny. I think actually, because didn't they red flag it and stop them all on the start finish straight? And there was a little bit of an interview going on with said 205 driver, and I think he said some choice words, if I remember rightly.
I don't think they red flagged it. They actually, I don't know. No, they
did. Something happened. Or was it towards the end of it?
No, that was the hot hatch. Amelia, did your race get ended early by a red flag?
No.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. That was
clearly. I had more alcohol.
I do remember the choice red flags. The head gasket killers were out at Coombe as well. It was great to see the Lancaster MG Trophy Challenge. That was
a cracking.
It was a cracking
racing again. Really
Nick,
good racing.
Would you like to give your opinion on these guys? So this is the TCR grid.
I don't know.
Any time today would be.
Look, they were impressed. They were impressive. There were some nice looking cars out there and stuff. But, and again, I'm not just being biased because we run Club Racing UK, but I tell you something, the racing was far better from the likes of the hot hatch, the saloons that aren't saloons, Formula Ford and everything else. Was a million times better. The TCR, it was impressive to see TCR at Castle Coombe, don't get me wrong. But then when you've got the likes of, I mean, what was there? 8, 9 TCR cars? Mm-hmm. You had a couple of touring cars.
A couple of ex-NGTC cars.
That was quite cool seeing them in there as well. And then you had 4 VW Cup cars.
Yeah. And considering that you know that those VW Cup cars are probably 70 grand a season, there's 4 of them, they're sat at the back of this grid, and you're like, what's the point?
It was. So, don't get me wrong, it was cool to see TCR at Castle Coombe. I'm not going to take that away from them, but to make it out like they were the highlight show, no chance.
No, it wasn't. I'm sorry. The Castle Coombe Racing Club absolutely outshowed them. But
100%. It's not about that. I get that. You've got to put all these guys together, but take your hats off, Castle Coombe Racing Club, because the show you guys put on, the racing you put on.
And the best bit about this photo here, it isn't actually the cars on the track. Can you guess what I'm referring to?
Look above the cars on the track, everybody. There was people everywhere.
Yeah.
Spectators. Yeah.
Spectators.
It was packed. It was so good. People were there. Enthusiastic.
Really?
I will say as well, Pescara Productions, they gave us the footage for the Jeff Windsor incident earlier as well. Thank you for that, Phil. And it was good to finally meet and catch up. So the Coombe GTs were out as well. There was a bit of a mixed bag there, I thought. A couple of hot hatch cars for me at the back there as well. Why they were with the GTs, I don't know. Maybe they run sequentials or whatever. But there was one. I have to move on to this because there's something you said to me, Nick, and it stuck with me the next day. Okay, now we all take the piss.
Go on.
We all take the piss. Nick Holmes, do you love Formula Ford?
Now, after the show at Castle Coombe, yes.
It was brilliant, wasn't it? 4 cars.
I'm going to say this now, right? So, for the record, I am not a single-seater fan, okay? I don't enjoy single-seater racing. Maybe I should give it more of a chance. I like some of it, but I could not take my eyes off the front 4 or 5 cars in that Formula Ford race. To be fair, it was happening up and down the grid, but the battle for the lead was insane. It was so good. Like, so good. Like, they were so close to each other. I do apologise. I don't know names or anything like that. But the second place man must have lost about that much off his nose cone because they were literally just swapping places. It was awesome to watch. So good.
It was.
And when the racing is that captivating and it is that all the time, it could be milk floats and I'd be interested. But honestly, guys, that was top work by the Formula Fords. Definitely.
Yeah, and we said that we watched that fantastic racing in a week. And I know I'm referring to Formula One, so it's not quite club racing, but I will bring up this point. Toto Wolff and Lewis Hamilton have both said junior single-seaters, the ladder to get to the pinnacle of motorsport, has got too expensive. Ditch Formula 4, get Formula Ford back on. The costs are absolutely fine. It's a lot cheaper. The racing's good. You learn about mechanical grip. You learn how to control a race car. Get Formula Ford back as a national championship.
Yeah.
I said it. Done. Nick Holmes loves Formula Ford. Now let's move on.
Hashtag I like Formula Ford. Let's just get that as a hashtag, everyone.
Nick loves Formula Ford. Now, before we move on to ambassadors, we've got to go back to the comments because it's blown up again. Everyone's tuning in. I love this.
Can I just say, these poor ambassadors, we get them on to say they can talk about themselves, and we're an hour into the show, and we've hardly said hi to them.
We're an hour into the show, and we've said
Sorry, guys.
I do apologise, guys. The show is back. Now, Ian Waterhouse joins us. Hey, chaps, great show.
Yeah!
Hope you're all well. Yeah. We hope you're all well. I'll reiterate as well, thank you very much, Ian, for all the work that my supercar has done for the podcast up to this point.
Much love.
Thank you for giving us the platform to spread our wings.
Yes.
And
tools and the knowledge.
The tools and the knowledge, and to basically sit here and chat shit about club racing. Anyway, Chris Pearson has said about the 911 Challenge, it's a Risk Boys club racing. It seems that way.
Then it's not club racing.
Well, it's not really. Pescara Productions happens all too often, Sladley. Yeah. There's two guys that agree on Castle Combe. James Davis, I think he might have something to do with Amelia there.
Oh yeah,
Codrington as well. Chris Pearson, I did deliberately shoot you, Amelia. I hope you don't mind. That's well harsh. I'll just take a photo.
Wow.
Yeah. Pescara, they might have pulled it early because there were 6,000 tyres all over track at the chicane.
Yes. I bloody knew it. I knew something happened.
Yeah. It was something like that. But yes, I do remember we were sort of walking past one of the speakers and the 205. I think it was Chris Southcott. Nick's gone for a wee, or I'm too boring. So you walk past the speaker and the 205 driver's like, that guy went for a guy that didn't exist. He's like, oh, racing's back. He's going to kill him. That was a quick wee.
That was a very quick wee.
No, sorry, I had to open my windows. It's getting fairly warm in here.
It is. I'm sat in my room. The boiler is in the cupboard behind me, and that's humming away. And then hot water. And then I've got a closed window here, which I'm going to open in a minute because the PC and the big telly is very hot.
Hold on. Yeah, Steph wouldn't have a boiler in his house. He's probably got some small person heating water for him in his posh house with no number.
What can I say?
What can I say? There we go. Pescara Productions, Nick. There we go. Formula Ford should be on the super license system all day long. Chuck Codrington's
Let's push it.
Yeah. Hashtag of the year. Nick likes Formula Fords.
Let's push it, guys. Come on. We've got a big enough audience and a big enough fan base now that we need to push it and be the voice for Formula Ford.
Yeah. Matt Clary, can you stop the podcast? I have to rescue my pizza from the oven. Steph has a butler for that.
Just get yourself a butler, Matt.
Yeah. Sam Pearce, Steph is currently being fanned by two giant leaf wavers from behind the monitor. Eugenia has said he probably has a swimming pool as well. I'm going to move on because the two people that are running the show, tonight, and we're both getting bullied. I'm not having this. It's time for the ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
I can't believe it's better than that.
Mission is
God, this show is
you should have
just
said Darren
so
Butler.
good.
And if you just missed that, that was the Mission Impossible 3 theme tune from Darren S. Cook. Okay, Amelia, we're coming back to you. We're coming back to your debut in the Castle Combe Hot Hatch series. Describe your day.
I don't think there is a word that can even describe it. Oh my days. It was phenomenal. Absolutely amazing. I've taken away so much from it. Like, the list is huge. Both positives, negatives, improvements, everything. For me, the car, all sorts. Yeah, it was a really good day. And it was dry and very warm. So, yeah.
That is a good-looking car right there. We've got some, these are some stunning photos of you as well that you've sent across as well. So describe the car. So you've got a little Honda Civic, 1400.
Yes. Yeah. At the minute, she's pretty much as standard as you can get. But we have got some improvements and development work coming. So quite excited to see what they do. Yeah.
Okay. What development work have we got going? Is it top secret? Are we not allowed to know? Or
I think there's too much to really say. My race engineer Ethan, he is an absolute Honda wizard. He knows everything and anything about Hondas, and I wish I could tell you what we wanted to do, but it's gone straight over my head, I'm afraid.
I think to be fair, I think everyone's a Honda wizard except me.
I drive a Peugeot. I know nothing about Hondas, and all of a sudden I'm just plonked into a race car and expected to know.
Look, you only need to know what the round thing in front of you are and the 3 pedals. Job done.
Yep, that is true. That is true.
that is true. I mean, it was certainly
EP3.
you didn't put yourself to shame there, Amelia, this weekend.
Shitbags.
You put in some very respectable lap times on a circuit that will bite. Anyone will tell you at Castle Combe, if you get it wrong, it does not forgive you. And I'll tell you what, especially in qualifying as well, you've got a small litre engine. It's your very first race, and you survived it and came out with so much respect from myself and Nick.
Oh,
Yeah, 100%. 100%. That was a big, gnarly grid to be on as well.
You
It's
would,
not
you
like
would also have it from me, apart from these two. Didn't bother to invite me, so...
Okay, can I just clear this up, right?
that's
I've known these guys a long time. That is on Nick, because I know that they do alternate shifts. So when Nick said, yeah, I'm up for coming to Combe, I'm off, I wrongly assumed that Stefan was working. It was only when we got to Combe and Steph's like, thanks for the invite.
For the record, it was only when we got to Combe and we had ciders in our hands and took a photo and sent it to Steph saying, wish you were here, that I suddenly went, oh shit, yeah, he's off today as well.
Now,
oh bad, dude. Sorry, that was totally on me because I had to swap one of my days. So
now we're going to put Amelia in the shit a bit here. Okay, we've had this comment come in from James Davis. Don't forget your moment around camp. Amelia, we're just going to play this clip. Didn't realise you were religious.
I'm never living that down.
Love it. Just
I survived.
so good.
I could see my mechanics, or my engineers, on the pit wall, and I just looked at them and I was like, nope.
Oh, it's so good.
And then it was like, oh my God, Hail Mary and all the... Actually, can we just watch it again? That was quality. There we go.
Again, for the record,
Good save,
for your first ever race weekend and to control that so well, brilliant.
There we go. That sums it up there.
Yeah.
sums it up.
We should say to
Yeah,
our
the
podcast
Tokyo
listeners
Drift
that
music.
can't see the videos, Amelia was very, very sideways around camp and then prayed as she straightened up and carried on. So
yes.
that's for our podcast listeners.
Thank the Lord.
Yeah, thank the Lord. Yes, I must apologise to our audio listeners because they're probably wondering what the hell is going on. But yes, for our audio listeners, Amelia went round camp, ended up being Catholic in the end, got the old... what was it? The old football saying: your spectacles, your testicles, your wallet, and your watch. And but Sam Pearce says it as well. 10 out of 10, full send. I think the Royal Mail would have been proud of that one. Patrick Thill thinks it's quite good. James Davis, I was watching from the bank, had my heart in my mouth.
Aww.
And you can't get any better compliments than sepia photo, Chris Pearson, epic save.
Wow.
And again, big shout out to Chris Pearson for sending me those photos of the Coombe weekend. If you have got a chance, pop onto his site.
Really,
he's got some amazing photos.
Really good to actually meet the dude in the flesh.
I know.
That was one of the nicest things about Coombe that weekend, and actually going as a fan, because we always go for race weekends, and for anyone who does a race weekend, you don't get to see anyone really. You get to see the people you're racing against. You pack up and you bugger off home. You don't actually get to mingle really. So for me, and I think you said the same thing, Rob, it was actually just really nice to go to a race weekend, and we just bumped into loads of people. We bumped into Alex from Peak Performance Reviews, as you say, Phil at Mascara, loads of people. It was just really nice to just see people.
It was kind of born from. I was chatting to Phil. Phil was up for it, watching a bit of TCR stuff. I was getting pissed off because I was removing the engine and gearbox from my car and it kept going wrong. I was like, sod this. I retired about 3 times from motorsport. And then in the end, I just said to Nick, fuck it, do you want to go to Coombe? Stefan Marsh, what would you like, sir?
I didn't bump into anyone.
I thought you were at work. You must have bumped into a load of people at work.
I was led under the Mini in the end.
Oh, dear. Right, David Campion. That's a big shout out for you, Em.
My team boss.
Stu, wait, where the hell have you been? Evening, Stuart.
Evening.
If you have got a chance, Stuart, listen back to the podcast. We've had a lot to talk about in the news and roundup. Chris Pearson, only thing that would have been better than seeing you guys would have been having a beer with you, Chris.
Yeah.
Peace of love, man. I think we're gonna. I think the event that everyone needs to organise is the annual Club Racing UK piss up.
We definitely will arrange a Club Racing UK party.
We need a Club Racing UK track day, followed by a piss up.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to be that's going to be a thing.
Yeah, Matt Cleary. Are spectators allowed to go into the paddocks yet? Meeting drivers is just as good as the racing.
No, it was full lockdown, wasn't it? Really,
it was fenced off.
We couldn't get into the paddock, but we had full range of the whole track.
Yeah.
But we had to walk the long way round to get back to the car park. We couldn't get into the paddock.
We can't mix with spectators. No.
I mean,
COVID's got a wire fence it can't get through.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that'll ease on the next bunch of restriction lifting. But for now, I mean,
the ones that are about to be delayed.
Oh, are they?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't watch the news.
Stu, wait, did someone say track day and piss up?
Yes.
There we go. And Patrick Seal. There you go, Steph. Found it for you. That's the...
Yes. The world's smallest violin.
Love you, man.
Playing the world's saddest song.
And it's playing just for you. Well, Amelia, so just to finalise then, any last words about your fabulous day at Coombe?
Let's do it again, I guess. Well, the next one.
Yeah, and when are you out racing next?
4th of July.
Oh, Independence Day. Fantastic.
Rob, shut up. We're not American.
While you're here, Amelia, because everyone gets so excited when on the show, they forget about it. Is there anyone you want to thank along your way?
Everyone. Absolutely everyone. I was inundated with messages, support, good luck, have fun, all that type of stuff. And everyone at Wiltshire College and University Centre, they've been fantastic getting the car ready. She's great. Let's do it.
Let's do it again.
Full send.
Full send. I've had to open the window now. My God, that draft is so good. Oh, my God. Let the cool air in. I'm sweltering. Matt Cleary's got a good idea. I think if Steph still had his pop bang Focus, he'd be up for this. You'll have to do a driver meetup at Tesco car park.
Yeah, why not?
That's all right. They've got a big fat exhaust on their Mini now. Hey,
Chris Pearson.
Anti-social now.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rob.
I forgot to say earlier, Steph, Matt's driven the Mini home.
I know, he died. Yeah. Cheers.
Yeah. But I will say this, as he was driving off down the service road, you can't hear the supercharger anymore, so it's win-win.
What, you mean the R2D2?
No. That's literally all you can hear from the Mini, but now they got a big fat bad boy exhaust on it. It's really loud. You are gonna get pinged for that.
Yeah, it's not louder than Rob's car. Rob's car's well loud.
Yeah, just a bit.
No.
Now James has come up with a very good comment here. Wouldn't Tesco be too posh for Mr. No Number House? Waitrose would be more fitting.
Waitrose? Marks and Spencer's.
Oh.
No, it's Ocado, isn't it? Ocado, and they bring it to you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. Simon.
Right, for the record, he had me drop his script off tonight.
Yeah, when she stuck to my front door and drew a massive penis on it.
I'll tell you, I bet the neighbours at the Lex Manor estate think you're all right.
Actually, boys, if I send you a picture, can you put it on? If I send you a picture right now, can you put it on the podcast?
I'm not sure.
It's fine.
Yeah, we'll put it. We'll put it up on the next. We'll put it up on the.
I can get it up. I took a picture of it
on the next podcast. Chuck Codrington, James is a savage. He certainly is. James, come back every week, mate. That's quality, that is, dude. So 3 weeks time, get yourself back on the comments, mate. That is ban-terrific. Purely ban-terrific. Right, Chris. No, not Chris. Bloody hell, I'm reading the wrong part of the script. Simon.
Evening.
Thank you for being so patient.
Yeah, good evening.
Evening, Simon. Welcome.
I will just say, Amelia, once again, thank you. Well done. We look forward to the 4th of July, seeing some more great racing from yourself in the little Bumblebee. That's a cracking little car.
Cheers.
Okay, so Simon Court, how's your season been going so far?
Great so far. I think I'm sitting third in the championship, which is hugely surprising. We've had 2 meetings so far. We've been at Silverstone and we've been at Donington. So last time out was in May. Following Silverstone, we had a few issues with power, as you know. We put it down to a gearbox issue in the end. So we swapped that out before arriving at Donington a few weeks back. Testing, complete washout. It just pissed it down all day. So didn't think it was going to be much use for the rest of the weekend because the forecast was a bit mixed, but mainly dry. I think qualifying in the end was dry, and I equalled my best qualifying so far and qualified third for both races for the Saturday. Race 1 did end up being a wet start, but it was drying throughout the race, and we all know what happens when I drive a drying Donington Park circuit.
Bit sideways,
into concrete.
Yeah,
but we'll gloss over that one. Managed to keep things clean. Yeah, that was battling for my first podium actually in the race 1. Yeah, me and Dave Mason always seem to have a good battle on track.
Look at that.
No, kept things clean in that first race. Managed to get off the line well. Kept with the first 2 for several laps, but then my pace seemed to drop off a bit. I don't know whether that was tyres or whether it was just a mental thing. I don't know. Ended up falling back dramatically and fell back into sort of 4th and 5th. somehow managed to follow them back round, and on the last lap managed to retake to get my first bit of silverware.
Yes.
Race 2, I think you've got a bit of footage for, have you?
Yeah.
We have.
As I said, we couldn't put the full 8 minutes you sent to us, Simon. But
No.
we quickly did a bit of an edit for you, so I'll bang that up, mate.
The track.
So
they look so much fun.
They do look so much. I mean, the Mazda
No,
series,
no.
it's certainly a fledgling series. The grids go bigger by the round.
It is, yeah. I think we've got 24 or 25 for brands on Saturday, and I think there's still a few more being built as we speak. So it's definitely a growing series or championship now, and yeah, just brilliant series to be part of. I think most of the guys on the grid are all ex-low cost drivers, so it's really competitive, real wheel-to-wheel racing, and aerodynamics of a brick. So just the toe and the is worth massive amounts of time. No, great fun.
Awesome. Oh, it looks absolutely.
I think you saw in that video there. I led my first race for all of about 50 foot. Right, the excitement took hold and I got overtaken again. But
hey, look, leading
what
is
happened
leading.
What happened with the
it is
front wing?
I think everyone was having a few issues that weekend. The wheel stays on the arches aren't much good.
Okay.
There was no contact or anything. It's just bashing the curbs.
Isn't it a known thing for cars of that style, Caterham style cars, that wings just don't stay on?
No. I was up at Croft a couple of weeks ago for the low cost racing, and I think the team that I raced with, Team Sellers Racing, I think he welded about 25 brackets, front arch brackets, over the course of the weekend. Just because they just kept falling off. There was, I think I've got a picture I should have sent to. Wheel arch bracket had snapped off on one guy's car and ripped a hole in the side of the tyre, and obviously that's race ending.
Nice.
So that footage that you just saw there, the wheel stay actually wrapped itself around between the steering knuckle and the disc. When I got back in, it had melted the sidewall of the tyre and scored the disc. So I was very lucky to actually finish that race.
Yeah. Wow.
Bloody hell.
Jesus Christ.
But I was carrying a few issues in that race as well. I just kept snatching fourth gear. So yet again, the reason I went up to Croft was to rip my car apart in the TSR tent, and had a new gearbox, new diff, new prop shaft, and new half shafts. So hopefully I'm all good to go this weekend at Brands. But and for the record, I've been told by a certain Ben Powney, who races in both Mazda and F1000, if I win both races at Brands, I get to drive his F1000 at the end of the season. So for everyone out there, it's a hell of a deal, but very unlikely. But
no, never say never.
Never say
Let's
never.
get it done.
F1000. I think
some encouragement.
It wouldn't surprise me, to be fair, if Nick turned up in his race suit to that test, Simon, just to have a go.
You know me, I'll drive anything.
I know, but it would you in a single seater would just look funny, just the single seater there, and then Nick's head.
Actually, you say that when we were at Coombe, there was it was
It was the Sprite and Healy challenge or something.
That
There was
was
one
it.
roll bar, and it was.
It was about 10 foot high. I was like, yep, that'll do for me. Honestly, the roll bar on the thing was as long as the car. It was huge.
Superb.
I can only imagine it was because one of their drivers is a little bit lanky.
Yeah, it could be. James Davis says they do look proper great fun. Some great skids on there as well.
Yeah.
Chris Pearce as well. Yeah, Chuck Codrington, multiple skids.
Getting a drift action on.
And Chuck Codrington, Nick likes single seaters. That's got to be the new hashtag. Nick loves an EP3. Nick Holmes loves Ford. Nick Holmes loves Formula 4. Let's just get the Nick Holmes loves hashtags in there now, guys. Just get them in. Anything you want, no holds barred.
Maybe we should just do like a sticker pack. Nick Holmes loves, and then you can add your little bit on the end.
Oh dear. I'm gonna have to change the sticker on the bumper for later in the season. I think. I think the EP3 needs to be put on the end instead of the Ford. That's the next show. Right, thank you.
I love a Honda EP3. You know me.
You do. Nick Holmes loves Hondas. Right. So Simon, what are the plans going forward?
Go on, Nick. Sorry.
No, I was going to say. So I can't remember who it was now, but someone commented the other day saying, "Oh yeah, because that was it. I'll listen to the podcast even though you don't think I'm original because I'm a Honda driver." And I was like, "Well, some people do listen then." or someone say I'm uninteresting. I was like, "You're not wrong, but."
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
Plans going forward.
Sharing the love. Okay, Simon. So you're off to Brands Hatch this weekend. What's your thoughts?
Heading down tomorrow afternoon. Got Friday testing. I've only got the morning testing because I did a pre-season sort of track day there. So I'm fairly comfortable with the track. It's just sort of getting to know the conditions for the weekend. Looking sunny, so nice dry weekend, hopefully. I'm just hoping to improve on second, which will be nice. Hunting that first win.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Really competitive, so it's
coming.
Going to be difficult.
Two wins are coming. I can feel it.
I really hope so.
They are.
No, fair play. So, I mean, has Brands been a really good circuit for you in the past, or?
We did Brands in low cost last year. It was my first ever wet race, so I've never actually raced it in the dry.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll definitely be a new experience. The pre-season testing seemed to go well. The time seemed to be competitive with the guys that I was on the test day with. We'll see. I'll see. Friday morning will be tell all whether the car's been put together properly by myself.
So if say the front mudguard comes off, it's not been put together properly.
That's not actually changed yet. That's
Love it. Okay, Simon. Well, thank you very much for that. And with that, I'm not going to lie to you.
Wait.
Come on, Nick. Yes.
Simon, is there anyone you want to thank or anything you want to say? Shout out before. Come on, guys. We got to let these ambassadors. We got to let you guys have your moment. There's obviously thousands of people watching this show right now. There could be potential sponsors out there. There could be, celebrities out there watching this. In fact, we know there are. So make sure you plug away.
Absolutely. No, I think the main people to thank are TSR, Team Sellers Racing, who support me and others through the race weekend. And to be honest, even the other team members within TSR, we're obviously all competitors, but at the same time, we're in the same team. And these guys are really experienced, and they're not afraid to share their knowledge and experience with me as a relative newbie. So some of the guys there, Ben Powney, John Lister, Matt Crow, some of the guys that have been there a long time. There's a big thank you to those guys. And I can't forget my main sort of title sponsor is TDK Detailing. Huge thanks to those guys.
Nailed it.
Fantastic, Simon. Thank you very much for coming on, and we'll certainly be catching up with you later in the season. So tell us a bit more, just quickly before you do go, just tell us a bit more about the Mazda series itself. Is it something that you would choose for someone looking to get into racing?
Absolutely. I think the way I got into racing, I think it was a show called Race Retro. I went along to, and Stuart from Team Sellers Racing was there, along with Ryan Polly from the Clio series.
Yeah.
And so they had a few cars there, and I'd never been racing before. I'd done some track days, but I was able to get in the cars and just see how it feels. And to be honest, I sat in the Clio and it just didn't feel. I was just too hemmed in. The head restraints, and it just felt a bit too enclosed. I jumped in the Mazda car, and it just felt like a race car. So until you sit in those cars and experience that, and then getting out on track is a whole new experience. So, I mean, you've got obviously two very similar series in club racing. You've got the low cost and the low cost Mazdas. The Mazdas are just, I think they're just everything the low cost should be. The better brakes, the bigger engine, the stickier tyres, and it's just brilliant fun. When you're able to sort of stick with that lead pack and that close wheel to wheel racing, and just really, really fair racing is all I've experienced so far. So really good fun.
Awesome.
Love it.
Brilliant.
That's what you want.
Fantastic.
That's what you want,
Fantastic. And our final guest, again,
no,
thank you.
That's it now. Cut the show. I'm done. Thanks, Ambassador.
Thank you for being so patient, Dan. Daniel Cogswell. And I'm not going to lie, no offense to anyone else, but this is, I just love the look of this car. I mean, look at that.
Best looking tin top out there.
Thank you.
Just look at that.
No,
okay.
we don't have favourites, but
that is a beautiful car. It's different. We like different. So, Dan, you've kind of come across the Manic Donington and the Cadwell Chaos in the 750 Hot Hatch Championship. It's certainly, I mean, to be honest, it's a series that I'm probably going to be heading for next year in the Focus, because I've seen some of your footage and how good the racing is. So tell us a bit about your season.
Yeah, so the season's gone pretty well so far. First up was Cadwell. Went up there on the Friday to do some testing, which didn't really go to plan. The circuit was shut after I only done about 5 laps. So, yeah, headed into qualifying was kind of learning the track, really. I can't remember where I qualified, but it was right in the middle. I was right in the mix. Yeah, I think everyone was taking it a bit easy, being the first meeting, and Cadwell, including myself, managed to get 2 seconds at Cadwell, second in race 1 and race 2. My class wasn't the biggest entry. I think there was 5 or 6 starters. By the end of the day, I think there was 4 finishers in race 2. But yeah, we had quite a good weekend. It was quite nice to learn a new track. I seemed to get on pretty well there. I had some friends who were there like the day before on the track day, so they sent me some footage. I was able to learn from that quite quickly. They were also in Almira's, so that helped out heaps.
That's cool.
Nice.
And then yeah, on from that, round 2 was at Donington. Again, more good results. Had bigger entry for Class B. It was super busy at Donington. I think it was a 40 car grid with reserves.
Blimey.
That was the same at Cadwell, actually. It was like 40 car grid and 3 or 4 reserves as well. Big entry.
Wow.
And yeah, Donington, we had 2 third places.
Awesome.
Both first corners at Donington were crazy. 40 cars with like wannabe touring car drivers all rushing into turn 1.
He says with his car liveried the way it is.
Yep, 100%.
Well, I've had the comment up here while James Davis comes across super tourer vibes. That kind of says it all with that car. I love the look at it. Chris Pearson as well. The Almira GTI looks absolutely awesome. Liam Browning loves it. Absolutely loves it. Now, we have got a video clip that you sent across, Dan. This is your race start at Donington Park.
few choice words there.
Yeah. only a few.
I think he said, "Oh my lord."
My livery. Where is it going?
Oh, damn and blast!
Well, that's the picture. So that's obviously the dent from the whack you got at the back.
Yeah, that dent there was from race 1. That was race 2 footage. But yeah, race 1 there was cars absolutely everywhere. There was a few big smashes in turn 1. Did I send you the race 1 start?
No, you didn't. That was the only video I got.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe next time I'll send it over. But yeah, there was a certain, I saw the name come up in the comments somewhere. A certain Anthony Woodhams came ploughing into the back of his little Saxo.
Can I disclose that's not me?
Uh-oh, Dan's in trouble.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry, Chris.
So yeah, Chris Pratt has come in. Stop damaging it. Maxine, there was coolant on the track at Red Deck that day. That's a fantastic excuse you've just given him, Maxine.
Thank you.
See, racing drivers stick together. James Davis says suddenly golf.
Yeah. It's a bit hard to see, but there was a more bit of contact and pile up outside the driver's window, so that kind of backed everyone up, and it caused all of our contact. But yeah, that's what you get, I guess, for 40 cars hurtling all into turn 1.
Right.
This is it. When we say the racing's spectacular with huge grids, unfortunately, a lot of the time it is because there is a little bit of rubbing and racing, but 98% of the time it's just cracking racing, but there is contact, obviously.
Okay, so Chuck says, why use your brakes when you use the other cars around you? I mean, you've got a good point there, but I do think I mean,
he learned to race on Gran Turismo.
Yeah,
it's all about saving money in club racing. So if you can make those brake pads last longer, then why not?
By bending the chassis. Okay, so you said to us just before we got on air that you were doing some upgrades to the car, sort of not upgrades, just basic maintenance, really. So what are your plans for this week before you head to Brands Hatch?
Quite a few upgrades have been done. Last week, I fitted a new set of camshafts, squeezed a bit more power out of the car. It's been on the dyno, been reweighed and everything. So yeah, hopefully that will pick up the pace a little bit.
Yeah.
Put it a bit further up in the class.
Nice.
Still to fit, new set of front springs, and then full corner weight and alignment setup. The car's never been corner weighted because I've just been running like standard roll bars, standard spec drop links, so there's no point kind of corner weighting it. But now I've upgraded all of that. Got adjustable drop links and playing with the springs a bit more. So yeah, starting to get the car really dialed in, exactly where I want it. Hopefully that'll pick up the pace a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. So tell us a bit about the series itself. So it is a sort of a 3-class power to weight series, isn't it?
Yeah, that's correct. Lowest class C, is 145 per tonne. Class B, my class, is 175 per tonne. Class A is 200 per tonne, I believe. Yeah, pretty big grids. There's a lot of drivers registered. We haven't seen a fair amount of the drivers yet. So yeah, every meeting so far it's been a real mix of the same faces and new people.
Yeah, I know a lot of the Civic Cup guys have gone there to test, haven't they? Alistair Camp in particular.
Yeah, and he's ended up winning all 4 races so far outright. He is quick.
Bloody Hondas.
Yeah,
I know. Absolutely. Oh, it's disappeared. I deleted it. I was gonna put the Nick Loves an EP3 banner up again. Why not? Well, I'm sorry, we've got to have some more looks at this absolutely beautiful car. Just
gorgeous car,
stunning. It's a brilliant livery. Well done to the guys at All Square Rapid Ride, Chris and Vicky, that did the job on this. And there's some shiny trophies as well to go with the battle scars.
That's what it's about, isn't it? Strapped up, ready to come home, but he's got the shiny trophies.
Shiny trophies.
No,
There we go.
it is-
Just lovely, pure lovely.
It's cool. It's cool. Like you say, I love different. You know, there's a reason I have a
And
Vauxhall
you love
Vectra
Supercars.
because it's different.
One more
But-
pick. There you go.
One more peep.
Yeah, it's
One more
a
pick.
really great series. I knew it was going to be a bit elbows out, argy-bargy, but yeah, that second race I had at Donington was probably the best race I've had so far. Super close racing, so much fun. It was all down on the track, so that made it even more exciting. Yeah, great fun.
Probably from Rob's Ford.
Probably.
What for? Oh no! That was that was Donington. That was the throttle cable. That was the throttle cable.
Your
Actually,
Royals
no.
over
It
there
was leaking
somewhere.
oil as well.
No, it was leaking oil. Yeah, from the same spot. Yeah. Okay. We'll glaze over that anyway. Yeah.
But no,
we
guys,
definitely will.
Before we finish up on you guys, I just want to say again a massive thanks for entering to become ambassadors, and we hope that you're still taking full advantage of everything that comes, and hope you're still enjoying it.
Yeah, 100%.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
As you say, we got some amazing companies on board, haven't we, Seth? So
Yeah.
these guys. I know we're in our little group chat, and I know you've all done stuff with different guys from this program, and honestly, I'm super proud of this program this year. We've got some great people on board. We've got Why Go Pro Remote, Uncle Luke's, All Square Wrap and Ride, Rocked It, HRX, Scruffy Bear Pictures, Nick Jackson Motorsport, Pole Position Prizes, Keep Well. It's been mega. I've loved it. I've loved being part of putting it together, meeting you guys. It's great. Love it.
Love it.
And as you say,
It'd be
we're
nice
still
to
quite
meet you,
fresh
man.
in our years, really, aren't we? We're only June, so it's still
Yeah. Still got loads.
There's
still
still
loads.
just remember, there's
loads
still
to come.
plenty of racing to come. Chris
That's
Pearson
it.
commented, loves the tripoding in that last picture. Liam Browning, is Civic Cup still classed as club racing? Yes, it is. I know someone
Yeah.
that's building a Civic Cup car. It is probably one of the closest bits of spec racing going. It is proper club stuff, and you can turn up and do it with a home-built car. Trust me on
Yeah.
that one. He also comments his phone keyboard is terrible. Try and get it sorted. Liam.
That'll be why we're getting 30,000 comments one word at a time.
That would be one of the 30,000 comments. So finally, just to finish off, Dan, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, always. Family mainly. Dad and my brother, they're always taking me to the events, working on the car, keeping it going. Rest of the family that stay at home cheering us on while we're at racing.
You guys are out having fun.
My boss, Mark at Abbey Motorsport, he spends a hell of a lot of time on the car, tuning it earlier this week. Also, the other guys at Abbey, they're always helping me get the car ready. And also Joe at Tyre Streets, he came on board with me, supplying me with some accelerators for this season. Really enjoying them. Yeah.
Those accelerators, yes?
Awesome.
Yeah, they're the ones.
I see product placement.
Product placement, everyone.
Product placement, everyone. So, hope again a big shout out from me. It's been a pleasure to have you three on the Club Racing UK podcast, especially for our new look, and to tell us how your race season is going. We will have you back towards the end of the reason, and we are hoping to have some more great stories
The
from
reason
your racing.
or the season?
The season. Sorry, I'm bloody losing it. It's nearly 10 o'clock, man. It's past my bedtime. It'll be great to have you guys back later on in the season. Tell us all about how it's going and how you're loving your respective championships that you're in. So thank you very much, guys. And a big round of applause.
Thank you, guys.
I haven't got my sound effects on tonight. So
Oh, thank God for that. Nobody needs your sound effects. Steph.
Okay, so we are coming
awesome.
towards the end of tonight's podcast. So we'll carry on with the competitions and the partner focus.
There you go.
Our partner focus this week is Rocked It, because let's be honest, they pulled it out of the bag this week, quite literally.
Oh,
Quite
Rock!
literally.
Oh!
So
Robert Lewis.
Rockit have launched their new bag with the Formula 1000 prize draw. The odds are looking good for one of their 25 competitors entered for Brands Hatch on the 12th and 13th of June to win this newly designed motorsport equipment bag, hot off the development shelf, created by motorsport lovers for motorsport lovers. And if that wasn't good enough, they then went and sponsored a very, very pretty rally car of Ocean Price. Yeah. Look at that.
Look at it.
Very nice.
We'll just take a little moment to have a crisis there.
There we go. Let's go again.
No. There it is.
And we'll have a look again.
Yeah.
Oh, God. 3 times as a charm.
So that, of course, is the Ocean Price sponsored Rockit car. That's at Park in the Alton Park stages. And it's great to see the British Rally Championship back. A lot of people would think that this is sort of a club rally series. It's not. The British Rally Championship, really, it's the pinnacle. You've had the likes of Jimmy McRae win it, Richard Burns, Colin McRae. A lot of very, very, very talented and good people have won that series.
Oh, yeah. It's definite proper stuff. Proper stuff.
Definite. Proper stuff. And Rockit are sponsoring one of the major players in that series.
I'm so chuffed for Nick and his team. That's mega. Like, it's properly pulled that out of the bag. He needs to sponsor his bloody podcast, to be honest, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does really.
He does. I could do with some time. I could do with some time money, Nick. Come on, man.
Yeah, come on, dude. Splash the cash, man.
So let's just have a look at that again. It's just. Yeah, that's got the stuff.
No, I mean, going back to the kit bags, I mean, I know he's been working hard on getting these out. Obviously, he's doing a deal with the S1000, but you guys, if you have got all your kit out there, you know how expensive this race kit is. It's not cheap, and this is the most convenient bag you could find. Put everything in it safely, keep it tucked away, out the way, and it's fully customizable. If you get hold of Nick, you can have your own. Your logos on it, your names, you name it. He can sort that out for you. I believe you guys, some of you guys, have got his custom helmet bags as well now, haven't you? And I know there's plenty of other teams out there that have got the custom helmet bags they do. And I mean, any recommendations, guys? What the helmet bags like and stuff?
The helmet bag's brilliant. I'm on the waiting list for a kit bag as well.
Yeah, exactly that.
Dropping that in there. Good man.
Dropping it in there. So, I mean, I've known Nick for some years. He's a hard-working lad, and I know, like I say, him and his team are, they're fans. They know what motorsport people need and want, and I think he's doing bloody brilliantly bringing these products out to everybody. So, if you're looking for, I mean, they even do champagne bottle holders. Come on, guys. Anyone who's winning and spraying the bottles every week and you want to keep them safe, get in touch with him. But yeah, just brilliant stuff. Rocked it. Go check them out. If you've never heard of them, if you have heard of them, give them a share, give them a like. Get over there and buy some stuff.
Totally.
Yeah. Totally.
Fantastic. So that's our partner focus for this episode. Yeah. So yes, a massive shout out to Nick Underwood. You keep doing what you keep doing, man. He's doing fantastic. So any other business? Let's look at the last of the comments. Patrick Seal, well done, ambassadors. Great to hear you're all smashing it. James Davis, the cat's out of the bag now. There we go. There we go.
I can't guarantee that you get a cat with it.
No, I don't think you can. That'd be trying to get one of those.
Nick's working his magic, but I don't. Well, maybe it depends. It'll be an additional cost to supply a cat that will come out of your bag. But
are we talking animal or exhaust?
Well, it's a racing show, so I'm going to say
exhaust. Okay, that's fine. Chuck Richard just goes rally cars.
That's a brilliant. That's a brilliant product shot, isn't it? There you go, Nick. Brilliant idea in the post. Courtesy of Rob. Get a picture of a cat in the bag. Take the cat out of the bag.
I'm glad you described that, just in case there was some confusion.
Yeah, if we get any,
there's a lot of Honda drivers out there that need things like this explaining to them.
If we get any snotty emails now from the RSPCA, I'm blaming you.
You lot condoning cruelty to animals. No.
Exactly.
No.
Before we go back to the comments, let's just have a look again. Oh, that's nice.
Well, I think
that goes with
sorted for the night.
that goes with the comment. Again, Liam Browning said, "Well done to all the
Rob's just
ambassadors."
going to spend the rest of the night flicking between the V8 touring cars and that rally car, and we're not going to hear from him for the rest of the night.
Car. There we go. We've got another hashtag. Nick Holmes loves cats.
Yeah.
And Chuck is going to get James, and I believe this is to do with your old 206, Amelia. Shall we take the 206 rallying? And is that your mum?
Yes.
Okay, so explain about the 206.
Excellent.
So I have two of them. One is crashed and currently sat in my mum's front garden. It leaks, so I've called it a water feature for her. It's my little gift, my parting gift to her. I don't live with my mum. I moved out about a year ago. So yeah.
Everyone loves a water feature.
Precisely. That was my view. So, yeah.
Before someone gets it in the comments, hashtag Nick loves water features.
No, you wait. It's not going to be Nick.
It's coming.
It's not going to be Nick loves water features. It's going to be something a lot less PC than that. It's past 9 o'clock. Someone is going to say something about a shower. I'll leave it there. Right.
Terrible.
Now there is one comment. Now, Liam, you've struck a chord. 25k to be at the top of Civic Cup. So we move on to any other business, which is going to be the cost of motor racing. Now, our next
is that
episode,
what AOB stands for?
Any other business?
Oh, I didn't know that.
All right, okay. You do know for future. So Nick's learned something new. There we go. Nick has learned something new.
It's an educational show as well, everyone.
Yeah.
There we go. So Liam, I hope you're still watching, mate, because you have struck a chord. I mean, I know someone. No. He's put sorry, but Liam, don't be sorry. This is the reason we are doing this show. So the next episode, it was the most voted for when we put the poll up, asking everyone what you wanted to do on this show. The one at the top was addressing the horrific rising costs in club motorsport. So in 3 weeks' time, and I'll get the date up now. It's the 30th of June to be precise. Put it in your diary. We're going to get 3 more guests on this show, and we're going to talk about what we're going to do to address these rising costs. If you've got anything you want to say, get your butt on the comments. We'll have another show like this. It will be fully interactive, and we will give you guys your say. We are here for you. It's as simple as.
Yeah, definitely.
As. So yeah,
Booyah.
I think
have
to be
your say.
And it would be good to hear from the people that are in the top spec series, but they aren't spending the money that they claim to be successful. The people that do it on a budget, but are still successful. It gets the ideas out there as well.
That said, it'll also be good to have the views of the people that are spending the money.
Yes.
It's good to get it,
It will be
It won't be a money bashing exercise.
Oh, no, it won't be. But it will be...
It'd just be good to tackle the stigma, wouldn't it? Because everyone assumes motorsport's expensive, and it is expensive, but you can cut your cloth for a lot less than what some people do.
Exactly. Now, Sam Pearce...
There is people out there that have got big bank balances that can just throw money at it. Yeah, we get that. And unfortunately...
It will happen. But this guy here, I will praise this guy all day long because he's building a Civic Cup car on a budget, high detail, and he's doing it in a garage at home. He's not doing it and throwing epic amounts of money at it.
No, he's good lad, is Sam.
Yeah, Liam Browning, Type R trophy looks more attractive now. It does, and that's going to be part of the discussion as well. So get your thoughts in there. I think we'll put a post up in the paddock if we can. So if you've got comments and stuff that I can bring to the show, or Nick or Steph, throw us a message. We can bring it forward.
If you want to feature on the show as well, if you want to get involved, guys, give us a shout as well. That doesn't necessarily have to be in the next show. It could be any show going forward. We've got so much content that we can talk about.
Exactly.
This show's only going to get bigger. Look how good tonight has been, and it's been our first own produced show, so it's only going to get better. Should say as well, actually, put in the comments below or give us a shout, message, or anything like that. Any goods or bads about this new setup? I'm going off subject a little bit while I remember it.
No, that's fine. It's all part of any other business, but we appreciate your feedback.
Any feedback, any at all, even if you think it's shite, just let me know, and then I can block you. No, I'm joking.
Exactly. Now I've saved these for last.
I do like it, Morris. Hold on. Simon wants to say something.
Yeah. Can I say respect for Amelia for sitting there for the last 2 hours in a Club Racing UK hoodie? And I'm sat in their t-shirt with the window open. And absolutely roasting.
Maybe we should have got you some t-shirts as well.
Hashtag Nick does like it sideways.
Nick does like it sideways, as proved in my focus video earlier. Well, we haven't quite made it to 2 hours this week, but that was Series 3, Episode 1 of the Club Racing UK podcast.
This is it. This show is lit now. Not that it was before. Just saying.
It was before. We've got loads of comments coming in. We love your feedback. James Davis says,
nowadays, isn't it?
hashtag Nick loves a sponsor. Patrick Seal, thank you guys. Great effort.
Yeah.
So, from the 3 Club Racing UK ambassadors, Amelia, Simon, and Dan, it's good night from them. It's good night from Nick Holmes and Stefan Marsh of Club Racing UK. I've been your host, Robert Lewis. We will see you this weekend at the TDC at Castle Combe. We will also see you in the safety car on Sunday. There's 750 Motor Club Racing going on.
You are going to crash. You are going to get that so wrong, and it's going to be the best news roundup the next show.
I know.
I'm going to try and video as much as I can as well. So
as we go sideways.
Yeah.
5 stairs, Rob rips the splitter off of whatever car it is.
No, do you know what would be the funny thing? Driving away from the cars and the beacon falls off the top. That would be quite funny.
You were going to get it so wrong, and it's going to be so funny. It's going to be funny.
I know.
I have every faith in you boys, I do, but
it's funny.
Don't get it. No pressure.
Liam Bound, well done for a mega podcast. Thank you, guys. James Davis, no pressure. Thank you, guys. We will see you in 3 weeks' time for a mega show. So it's good night from me. It's good night from our guests, the ambassadors, and it's good night from Stefan and Nick. Night,
Peace out, everyone.
See you then.
Stay safe. See you on the track soon.
Bye.
See you later.
Goodbye.